Hey guys, this is Flash coming back at you with another Yahoo Fantasy Football Sports Live Draft. Tonight I am drafting uh, another team. I have several teams that I'm rostering at the moment, and just wanted to get another one in. Now that we're in September, and now that we've turned the corner from preseason into the regular season, which starts next week, which I'm really excited about. Um, Knowing the injury situation, knowing kind of the depth situation, and think this is a good time to come back and draft. All right, it's my turn. I'm on the clock. Let's see. I think I'm going to lean Jones. He's the best player on the board at the receiver level. I could take David Johnson because I really like him. I think he's going to have a great year. But I am going to go with Julio Jones for his upside, and just, I feel like he's going to offer consistency. And David Johnson would be too, but I'm leaning towards receivers as much as I can in the early rounds. Uh, Now I'm going to select Evans since he's on the board. And the reason why I'm using Evans, I think he's going to have a really great bounce back here. I think his lack of TDs last year was more of an aberration. And I think Winston's going to improve. I think Winston did great last year in his rookie season, but he's only going to improve. And I feel like the chemistry there is going to grow. For that alone, I think he's worth a shot. I know he's like a PPR stud, but I think even at this, if you can get him in the second round or even third round, he's definitely worth it. All right, so now with Evans and Jones on my roster, I could go Jeffrey and solidify my lineup as having the best wide receiving trio. However, I think I'm in the mood for a balance, and I really think LaShawn McCoy is being undervalued, or at least overlooked in a lot of these drafts. For the most part, I agree with his position, his ADP, but something tells me that Jeffrey is not going to have the most consistent year. Call me crazy, but I just don't like the Chicago QB situation. He's going to get a lot of volume and targets, but I see Jeffrey as being the victim of a lot of overthrown balls, so or just bad passes. So I'm going to go McCoy here. And next, I'm going to get Jamal Charles. And I know he's injury prone, and this is an investment pick. I know he's not going to start right away, but I'm going to get Charles, and then with the intent of drafting Ware in the later rounds, so I can have his golden handcuff handy. So now I got two great receivers, two great running backs, and again, if you're going to draft Charles, you got to be on 10 on getting Ware. Same thing if you're getting Bell, you got to get DeAngelo Williams. Next, let's see, DeMarco's still on the board. I really like DeMarco. He's going to have a great year. Do I get DeMarco to fill in Charles' spot until he returns? I'm leaning towards, well, I don't know. Landry's there too. I think Landry's going to have a good year as well. I think he and Tannehill, who else is going to throw to? There's Cobb on the board. I go Cobb. Cobb may have a bounce back year too. Even with Nelson there, I feel like I've mentioned in another vid, but with Nelson there, I think that actually might help things for Cobb. Between Cobb and Landry for me on the receiving side, I'm going to go DeMarco. I think I'm going to go Cobb here and get my receiving trio lined up. I may regret that. I really like DeMarco. There were three players I really liked in that round, so we'll see. But, all right, so let's see. Who do we grab next? Who do we got? On the clock. On the clock. What do we need? We got our receivers. We got a starting running backs. We go double QB. We're going a different direction. I'm hesitant here because you got the Cardinal receivers, and I think I might. I get Fitzgerald. I'm going to go Fitzgerald just for depth at the receiver position. I think it's too early to grab a tight end or a QB. Although I'm nervous because maybe Floyd has a bigger year this year. I feel like the Cardinal receiver trio, Fitzgerald, Brown, and Porter, one to actually avoid in season long because I just don't know who's going to break out from the pack or if they're all going to just take turns stealing each other's thunder. You never know who's going to step up from week to week. So I tend to fade Cardinal receivers. But in this case, I'm going to take a chance on Fitz just because I don't have him a lot of my season long rosters yet. I think that's fair. Take a chance. Who do I go for now? I'm good at receiver for a while, but then again, I think you get into these late rounds, you still are kind of in that process. But I'm gonna go defense here. I normally don't do this. I wait till the last round. I know that is the silver rule in fantasy sports. You wait till a lot of rounds to get your pick in defense. But I think Denver is going to have the separation. I gut feeling. I feel like the Denver D is going to be solid, and it's going to set itself apart in fantasy points too. And I'm going to get while I'm at it, I'm going to get my kicker. I'm going to land. Was Gostkowski? Gostkowski. I know I should know how to pronounce his name, but I'm so anti-Patriots. I don't even care to know what's going on. But I just know he's really good, and I think that he is going to be solid. So like the Denver D, special teams having that separation, the kind of so that's good. I still think there's plenty of value in the later rounds to be found. So if I could get someone to plug in for Charles and I get good production from my receiving core, then I think I'll be in good shape. And yeah, again, I think that Denver could easily have 30 or 40 more fantasy points. I think I'm gonna. I think Melvin's gonna have a really good year. I think many people are overlooking him. I think they're a freak out from last year. My gut says Melvin is one of the big bounce back candidates on the board, and I think he's going to have plenty of touchdowns this year. I'm going to draft Melvin Gordon, and it's a risk, but it's one I'm willing to make because I think he's just. Who else is there? I just think I believe in what he's done in the off season. I believe in his preparation and that he's going to be fine to come back. All right, so let's see what we got. Oh, Lockett's still there. I'm nervous. I like Sanders because again, I think everyone's overlooking him. I know I already have 4 wide receivers, but I think that he could be, getting an WR3 in the WR5 spot can't hurt. Again, I think receivers at one position really depth in case injuries hit. You could just plug guys in and not have to worry about waiver wire madness. I'd much rather worry about waiver wire madness with my running back. I believe winners in season long leagues are going to win with receivers, and that's pretty much it. I feel like the separation of tight ends is not that great once you in the first 3 or 4. Still haven't picked a tight end yet. Although I feel like separation with tight ends when you get to the 6, 5, 6 through 10 and beyond spot, that's when you see separation. So I guess getting a good tight end is important, but I think receivers is an important position. Rashad Jennings is still there. I'm going to add him for depth. Again, I think getting Rashad Jennings as a RB4 and he's back in RB2, but still an RB2 nonetheless. I think that's great. So again, you want to build depth in these rounds. That's the name of the game. And I still haven't gotten a tight end or my RQBs yet, but that's just kind of how I roll. I wait to the end because I think the one position where there's not that much separation is QBs. Between your QB3, QB4s to QB12s, how much points are going to separate them at the end of the season? You're going to ask yourself that. With Tyrod? Big red machine. Decisions. I'm going to go Winston, and the reason why, well, yeah, I'm drawn to Winston because then I can have that Winston-Evans pairing. And I think when you get in these rounds with such a quarterback, check your receivers and see if you could pair one of the receivers' quarterbacks with them, so you have, uh, again, that quarterback receiver handcuff. I don't know what to call it, such handcuff. I'm not shorting, but I'm just saying if you have, Jones, you could get Ryan. If you have maybe Golden Tate or Marvin Jones Jr., get Stafford. Again, at these spots. I'm going to go Winston again because I have Evans, and I feel like every time Evans scores, Winston's going to have to be thrown to him, so I get points from both of those spots. So I feel like I'm making a good decision there. My logic makes sense. I get Dalton as a QB2. He could be a back-end QB1 this year. install him, you never know. Just because he sucks in the playoffs in your life doesn't mean he can't provide great fantasy value. Um, so tight ends, I don't know. This is a crapshoot when you get down here. I didn't get the top 5, 6, 7 on my list. I'll go Zach Miller for now. I'm probably going to change this out after week 1, but I'm just looking for someone who can fill the role, and I'm almost positive I'm going to get rid of Zach Miller at some point. And then LeGarrette Blount's on the board. I'm just getting him because he's still there. I think he could be an RB2 this year if things fall in place for him. I know that what's his face is injured. Again, you could tell I'm not really fluent in Patriots is football. I'm definitely into patriotism, but Patriots I just don't like them. So I remember the guy who just got hurt and went on IR, but I just know that Blount is underrated. So anyway, that's my draft, and we'll see what happens moving forward. It's been Flash. Thank you for watching. Peace.